All right, here we go. I'm gonna keep it real. I like to keep things as real as possible, but for this specifically, I want to be as straightforward and authentic as I can on camera because this shit, sorry for my language, this is still foreign to me, kind of just recording myself and talking, so bear with me. But if you feel like you're lost and you don't really know where you're going or what you're doing, there's a reason for that. It's because you're just going in circles. You don't really have a purpose or a drive, and you haven't figured that out yet, which is fine. But if you want to get somewhere and you want to achieve these things, which hopefully you are because you're watching this video, you need to ask yourself a question. And that question is what is it that I want? What do I want to do as far as career, sports, relationships? Ask yourself and answer exactly what you want, and that will give you your direction and your path. It's a lot easier than you think it is because all you got to do is just write it down. And it's not going to be something where you can just think about it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. I want a Division One offer. You can think about it, you can say that, but it's not going to just be handed to you. So you have to write it down and then you essentially work backwards from there because it is so much easier to have a goal or something you want to achieve and work backwards and kind of work step by step, and then that will create your path for you instead of saying, okay, I want a D1 offer, let me just figure it out. It doesn't, achieving things doesn't work like that. And I would know because I've been in that same position where I've wanted so many things, so many things, so many things. And in today's world, it is so easy to think about things instead of actually making a plan to achieve things. You follow me? Because you can think about all these different things and you see all these things on the internet, YouTube, all this stuff that give you ideas of what you can do, but all it is just filling your mind with information instead of actually thinking about something, committing to it, and then following that path. There's a book, I'm actually looking at it right now. It's called The Principles of Self-Mastery. And so what it talks about is being a drifter lost at sea. And so you can, if you're a drifter, you're just kind of just floating around. You don't really have a direction or a path you're going on. And it's so easy to do that in today's world, like I said, with all of this information just floating around. But if you figure out something, and for me, it was I wanted to play football in Europe. So, okay, so that was my direction. Okay, and then you ask yourself, how do I play football in Europe? How do I get to that level? Okay, so who's doing it? So there's only 2 Americans on the field at once, 4 Americans on your team in Europe. And so it's very slim getting into that position. So you have to take yourself seriously and you have to focus and find that direction. Okay, how do I get there? You work backwards. Like I said, you ask someone who's already been there and done that. I'm thankful I had Matt Retzloff and a few other guys, shout out to those guys, who had been there and done that. And you kind of just ask them questions and they will kind of help lay the foundation of the path you want to go on. But if you're just, oh, I could do this, I could do that, and you don't actually commit, you're just going to keep on going in circles, which gets you nowhere and it just fills your mind with false hope. And that's not what we're here for. We're here to actually achieve things, be on a purpose, be on a drive, and then that is when everything else comes with it. You want money, you want success, you want popularity, whatever it is that you want, that is not going to come if you chase those things exactly. It will come with you locking in on something you want to achieve by asking yourself a question, answer it fully, take your time. It's not going to be a 1 week thing. It's not going to be a 2 week thing. Understand that you have to dedicate 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years to accomplishing this thing, but it's going to feel so much better after you dedicate and put in the time to achieve that than it would be if you just sat around and you came up with all these cool ideas and talked to them about them with your friends. I would know because like I said, I've been through this. I've struggled, I've failed, I've learned. And so I was one of those people that would talk to everyone about everything. Like, oh, I'm about to do this. I'm thinking about doing this. It's cool and it makes you feel good to talk about those things. But it's so much cooler and so much of a better feeling when you just shut up and you grind and you do the work And then people see that success and they're like, oh, you did that? And you're like, yeah, I did that. That's really all I got. And so ask yourself that question, figure it out, understand that it's going to take some time, but don't be afraid of the work. Don't be afraid to dive into something, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to stack those achievements, and that's what's going to get you to where you want to be, is by trial and error and trying things and stuff like that and committing. Because don't be in your teens or your 20s just talking about ideas, and then eventually you're 30, you're 40, and you look back and you're like, man, I really didn't do anything because I kind of just wasted around. I stayed in my comfort zone. I sat on the couch and everything like that. Get out of your comfort zone. I'm going to say it every video. Get out of your comfort zone. And yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, I'm just building this thing. I'm working on it. This is just some freestyles. So if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them, and maybe we can kind of build something together. So appreciate your time. And yeah, peace.